When I was just a baby, my mother told me, son, always be a good boy. Don't ever play with guns. But I have, and it's awesome. So, welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Welcome.
Tay, you look more furrier than usual.
Yeah. Oh, she's here.
My name is Fred Stewart,
Tired.
and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
It's me. It's Taylor. And also, Spirit's here.
Thank you, Spirit. And with us, as always, mostly always, running cameras and sound, Mr. Marty Calc.
I'm here today. Present.
Spooky man.
Present.
Now, Marty,
What's going on there?
I'm going to ask you, you say you present, huh?
I am
Let's
present.
see if you're paying attention in class.
Let's hear it.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Where was the Enfield poltergeist from?
Was I there on that episode?
Where was the Enfield poltergeist from?
Enfield.
God damn it.
What country is Enfield in?
He's quick.
Circle checkmark town.
Fucking so stupid.
Great.
I'm like UK, and he's circle checkmark town. That's so funny, dude.
Oh my God,
No, Marty.
It's the UK.
Oh, okay. Not okay, but UK.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have anything true crime related. We talk about the 10-foot tall aliens. I know we talked about it on the doc.
I
don't
don't think we
have.
did.
So last week, right after we finished recording, there was like reports of like 10-foot tall grays walking around Miami. Super fucking weird. I have no idea what that's about, whether those claims are legit or not. And if they are, they're coming for us. It's probably Project Bluebeam, which we should probably talk about on a podcast, get it out to the masses. But nonetheless, pretty fun. And then Marty, talk shop real quick. Fucking H.G.O, the Doc game show. It's
The
finally
Doc
out.
game show, yes.
It's finally out.
It is out.
It's finally out. Go watch
check
it.
that out. It is a very
It is an episode.
It is an episode. It was a fun ride. It was a fun ride.
It's what I like to call the internet's most problematic game show.
I think that's a pretty good title.
Yeah, but was it not the best?
It was really fucking fun to make, for sure.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun making that episode.
Maybe, like you said, after we cut shooting for it, man, you're like, I want to host one now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah, because I want you to be in the game show.
Oh, dude, I'll be bad.
Yeah.
Cut myself up on like razor blades and shit.
Maybe don't.
You're
do
like,
that.
I learned how to swallow swords yesterday. Let's see how this goes.
And then just pull out a chainsaw.
Not the same.
Yeah, no. Go watch that. It's great. And if you saw us at Fan Expo and you got a sticker from me, how you doing? What's up? What's going on? My name's Fred Stewart. This is a dumb internet shit that we do. Dumb podcast. Hi.
Hi.
But I don't have anything else. Man, whatever.
I'm dying. That's all.
Tay,
Yeah.
you're hosting this week
I
again.
am. Third week in a row.
You were hyping this up, so I was like,
It's got a funny name, and it's not what you would expect.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm ready to get into
Are
it.
you ready?
I'm ready. Let's hear the
All
funny
right.
name.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go through my intro first before I say the name. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So, when people are attempting to find places to stay, most of the issues people concern themselves with are the price of the stay, the cleanliness, the view, and other features many would
I like to have a hot dog room.
would often consider necessary for a decision to stay in such an accommodation.
Mm-hmm.
For those who like spooky shit, a lot of people like to know if a building is haunted.
Or has a
Where
hot
they-
dog room. Does
I don't care about a hot dog
Does this
room.
building you're potentially talking about have a hot dog room?
No,
Okay,
it
well,
does not.
I checked out.
A haunted location is often extremely sought after as a place to stay with those with the mindset of communicating with the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
These individuals hope to have an experience with the unknown and in some cases to prove themselves and others that such phenomena exist. However, while most believe spirits to be innocent lost souls who have not passed on to the next plane of existence, there are those who have experienced violence associated with them. And the spirit we're talking about today is a violent one.
Oh, so a poltergeist spirit.
I just want to stop you right there. This sounds fucking hilarious.
Marty laughs at violence.
Oh, good.
Which is actually, by the time... No, this will come out, and then after this, the episode we filmed last week for the doc will come out, where Marty laughs at violence.
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
So, yeah,
All
Marty
right.
just shows us combat footage for like an hour and a half, and he's like... he's looking at his face. And I'm like,
God.
dude, God, this is great. It's good internet content. But listen, all jokes aside, like, you know, when I go to a haunted location, dude, I care about one thing only. It doesn't have a hot dog room.
It doesn't have a hot dog room. Okay? It has rooms, none of them being hot dog
Can
rooms.
one of those rooms be converted into a hot dog room?
You bring enough hot dogs, any room can be converted into a hot dog room.
That's a man speaking facts.
Spoken like a true hot dog connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really hard to travel with Marty whenever we do any sort of outings and stuff, because he's like, you know, it's like, hey man, let's go film at this place, and he's like, they got power? It's like, no, you know, just kind of be shot on location kind of thing. He's like, gotta have power to be able to plug in that machine, dude. Gotta be able to fucking spin those hot dogs. And I'm like, I know, man, it sucks. We can bring a generator, but it's always just too much work.
It's also a problem because we're always late to things because he's just shoving handfuls of hot dogs into his bag.
And they're not like, it's not
They're
like
not
it's
cooked.
just the hot. No, well, some of them are.
Well,
The ones he puts in his pockets are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of.
I think all hot dogs are technically cooked anyways.
But they're not warmed.
Well, that's why you put them in your pocket.
And I even put the little Smokies in the little tiny pocket above your other pocket.
yeah.
I just imagine you on a traffic stop. They're like, all right, man, go and step out for me. And you step out, and they're like, put your hands in the car, and they start patting you down, and be like, what do you have in your pockets? You're like, hot dogs. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. And then they keep patting you down, like, what the fuck? And they just keep throwing hot dogs on the top of the roof of the car.
Bro, now
how many
I
hot
wanna,
dogs do you have on you?
Now I want to do that and get pulled over. I'll be like, search me, officer.
Oh, it'd be so
Search
funny.
me.
That cop would write a book later on, be like, in 2024, I pulled over a guy who had 40 hot dogs in his pockets.
Go ahead, search
Don't look
me.
in my trunk.
They're also not like packaged. They're just he's raw dogging the hot dogs in his pockets.
Yeah, we should do a sketch where we do that. We just fill a trunk full of a car just of just hot dogs, and then make that a sketch, and then we can go and donate the hot dogs later on.
Well, it's like that Ross Creations dude who filled the car full of beans. Did you see that? They called the locksmith.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one where the guy fills his computer full of I think it was also like baked
It's the
beans.
same-
It
it's
was
the
like
same guy.
black beans or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And he's like,
same
oh, that's
exact
not
guy.
supposed to be in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's get back on topic.
All right.
We're talking about haunted places with angry poltergeists.
You're the one that started talking about hot dogs.
I know, man.
Fair.
Got dog on the brain.
So this is going to give you kind of a clue of what we're talking about. But Elliot O'Donnell, in his book Animal Ghosts or Animal Hauntings and Hereafter, describes several encounters with bizarre ghosts. But one of the most violent and terrifying hauntings would appear in one of his books. This violent encounter was given to Elliot O'Donnell by his spiritualist and colleague, Martin Tristram.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Tristram, one dark night, arrived at O'Donnell's house, and it was late, and Martin did not seem like himself, as though he was a entirely different person.
Is he Batman?
I don't think so.
He's like,
He said Dark Knight, right?
fucking, it was his name, Elliot Oh no, it says Martin Tristan showed up, so it goes, Tartan Miss Maristan. It's me.
Great.
I don't know. I can't think of a bit.
The pair proceeded to sit down in the study, and Martin began discussing the various updates in the occult circle. And while sitting, Martin looked over at Elliot and said, "I need to tell you an encounter I had." So
there I was, pissing at a urinal, right? And this dude came up and just started wrapping his hands on my body, and I let him do it.
Excuse me?
I think there was like ghost shit that happened. I don't know, but it was crazy. Let me tell you.
So I'm gonna tell you all the name.
Yes.
It is the serial killer ghost orangutan of La Rue Croissante.
Hold the fuck on.
Did you just say the wood eating?
No. No, it was an even more insane sentence. The serial killing orangutan ghost of what?
La Rue Croissante.
Rue Croissant.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the serial killer ghost orangutan of La Rue Croissant.
The serial killer ghost monkey French.
No, technically it's an ape.
The serial killer ghost French monkey ape.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's the most insane sentence I've ever heard come out of your mouth.
Well,
So it's a ghost orangutan that kills people?
basically. We'll get into it.
What? This is, dude.
See, I told you weren't going to expect it.
No.
You were expecting, like, I don't know, maybe like a dog or something, like a spooky little dog specter.
I was like the little kid in Pet Sematary, and that name was like the truck. I had no idea what was coming. You know? Before I knew it, dude, it was already over.
Oh, I'm going to hell for laughing at that one. I'm going
Not a real story.
I'm just caught under the wheels of the story.
I'm still going to hell.
I was like the tower standing on 9/11, and that sentence was like the plane.
Okay, Marty, thanks.
Jeez, Marty.
Jesus Christ, man.
The plane's plural.
Thank you. Make it just you want to add a little more gasoline? Actually, no. Never mind. I'm not going to ask you when I add more gasoline to that. Never mind.
I was like in 19...
No.
This is the podcast we're trying to not get canceled on. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Doesn't help that Marty's here.
I know.
I'm just going to keep saying shit, dude. We're going to talk about getting canceled. First episode of H.G.O.
Listen.
Don't worry about it. But
Listen.
dude, Taylor had some choice words, dude.
Listen.
I'm making it seem like he was super racist or
I
something,
know.
but in reality, it wasn't that bad.
So, Martin, while traveling through Belgium, had arrived in, I'm probably going to butcher these names. Sorry. Tom, specifically, if he's listening.
Oh, yeah, my boy Tom from Belgium. You fucking know what you did.
I'm probably saying these wrong.
You son of a croissant bitch.
Had arrived in, is it Bruges?
What, where?
Bruges?
Yeah.
That looks like Bruges.
Arrives in Bruges. Yeah, I just got to think about how you would say it in his dumb accent, dude.
God. After traveling from Antwerp, as he stepped into the cobblestone streets of Bruges, a storm proceeded to amass in the distance. The darkness swelled over the city, and the wind picked up, swirling in a tumultuous cyclone. Tristram, exhausted from his travel, was in dire need of a place to rest for the night. Tristram looked out into the ever-shrinking crowd of people and proceeded to see a coach traveling down the street, picking up last stragglers before the storm engulfed the city. He hailed the coach, stepping closer to the wooden frame, and called the coach driver to find him a clean place with reasonable prices. The coach driver gave him a nod, and Tristram clambered into the wooden vehicle. Upon sitting down, driver gave a whip, and the horses moved down a dark, narrow street.
In case you're curious on how to say that word.
Bruges.
Bruges.
All
Pretty
right.
close. Pretty close. This is Bruges.
I added an E.
Bruges
I added
is Bruges.
but
So he climbs inside this horse and buggy.
yep, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the street called La Rue Croissante was poorly lit with gas lamps.
Oh.
Tristram half expected the carriage to have been overtaken by some maniac like Jack the Ripper. However, after a short ride, carriage came to a shifting stop in front of an old medieval-looking tavern.
So, do we know what year this was? Because I haven't heard like a year yet. So I'm gonna assume it's probably like 1800s.
It's not like I don't remember an exact date. It might be in here at some point.
Okay.
I don't remember. I wrote
so-
this like a week ago, so
That's fair. I got you. I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to stay.
It's a whole new story to me.
I'm just trying to picture it in my head because you said it's he's getting a horse and buggy, so it's got to be 1800s. I assume it's not 2004.
Probably not, but
You can continue. I'll look it up.
you
can-
look up Elliot O'Donnell and his book Animal Ghosts and see what year that came out, because it was before that. So Tristram looked at the establishment and questioned whether it would be kept up to the decent quality he had asked the coach to look for. However, exhaustion had almost overtook him, and it got to the point that he looked at the antediluvian exterior that perhaps he could, in fact, sleep anywhere.
His book came out in 1913.
Okay, so yeah, probably this was
Late
late.
1800s, early 1900s. Okay.
Yeah.
Just picturing in my head. That's
Well,
all. That's all.
I mean, if they're calling a horse and buggy, then probably.
Why would you call a horse?
Why
They don't know how to answer phones.
Why are you calling a horse a buggy?
Yeah. There's You're like, I need you down at Croissant Street or whatever he said.
Don't
Are
forget
you
the
calling my
hydraulics.
horse?
Are you calling my horse?
Yes, I'm calling it. Well, what the fuck are you going to call it?
I just imagine like it's like it sounds like a southern saying. You calling my horse? You better not be calling my horse. Don't you dare call my horse.
You better have this.
He don't know how to operate a telephone. Don't you call him?
So Tristram went to the front door and proceeded to knock on the heavy wooden door. A girl answered the door, and Tristram was struck down by the girl's appearance. The girl had lovely blonde locks that curled down to her shoulders and bright carmine lips. She had a very sharp smile that melted the man's disposition. He proceeded to follow her into the tavern and looked down at her long legs, which were covered in scarlet stockings. She went behind the counter, and Martin proceeded in booking a room. The girl, leaving the counter, beckoned Martin to follow as she ambled herself up the stairs. The girl proceeded in leading him down the hall to an old rugged door. She reached out the old cast iron key in hand and unlocked the door. She pushed the door open and led Tristram in. Tristram observed the oak paneled room held up by large oak beams and found it rather gloomy.
Don't you worry. This is the nicest room that we have. It's definitely not super fucking haunted. And full of orangutan ghosts that will rip your dick and balls off while you sleep. Promise.
So, on one side, so there was a fireplace in the center of the room, and on one side was an oak settee, and then on the other side was an old black chest. The entire room seemed to have a funeral-y character to it. However, the most garish element of the room was a colossal four-poster, which was placed in the exact middle of the room, and it faced a giant mirror that reflected the bed and Tristram as he looked at the room. The girl gave Tristram one last smile and bid him good night before
Good night.
wandering out of the room.
Good night. Good luck with everything. Don't fucking die in your sleep. It would really be a shame if you died in your sleep. Anyway, I hope there are no ghosts here who like to rip the dick and balls off of strange men while they sleep.
And eat croissants.
Tristram, still reeling from the charming girl but still exhausted, proceeded in undressing and getting between the sheets, itching towards the right side of the bed. Tristram was dead tired, and he would undergo something that almost everyone would at one point experience. That being
A ghost orangutan.
No.
A juggler who specializes in flaming bowling pins.
No.
Have
Have you experienced that?
I mean, I've seen a lot of weird shit, probably. Let me guess.
A juggalo trying to sell you some Fago.
A fucking...
That is a pretty common occurrence.
a Marty Cowick with his pants down, hammered, yelling at you.
That was just his bachelor party, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he pulled his pants down. I don't
I
remember.
didn't. Not at the bachelor party.
The moment we
Just
got
on the
home,
last episode of the doc.
go watch it. What did he actually experience?
So, insomnia.
Oh, yeah. I experience that every single night. Forever.
So, he laid in the darkness, taking in all the footsteps, creaks, and sighs that came from the other rooms. His tiredness already making it difficult to sleep, but these extra nuances managed to keep him up with a minor headache and semi-bloodshot eyes. He laid there listening to the sounds until they started to deafen as the cohabitants began to nestle themselves into bed. Soon all was quiet, and he laid there staring in the sepulchre, engulfing darkness. I don't know what that word means, but it is a word.
Just the way he words in that book, I assume.
Yeah. This silence would be broken by the large ringing of the town's clock tower as one solitary bong echoed the city.
Boom. Which we don't have our little
I know.
Martin might be able to do
work.
with his little
Yeah.
springs. But he's got to pull the string. Go boom. Yeah, pretty close.
That works.
It's time to go to bed.
Fred and this guy has insomnia, but I have insomnia. He be eating them hot dogs in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Dude, I just Kim be like waking up in the middle of the night and she like looks over and you're like, I was like, what are you doing?
You're like,
Nothing.
I can't sleep.
You get a full New York style hot dog cart next to your bed, and you're like, that'd be the greatest crime detective show, dude. Where it's like 1940 style. They're like, crime never changes, and he goes outside and like one guy puts a cigarette in his mouth, and a guy puts a cigarette in his mouth, and gets the last guy, and he pulls a hot dog out and starts dressing the hot dog. And he's like, crime never changes when I'm asleep. It's fucking awful. Gotta get somebody to take the edge off.
I mean, sometimes Marty uses the popcorn machine he has stashed in his closet, but it just depends.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not a popcorn machine.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a
Yeah.
hot dog machine.
Yeah, Marty
No, you've got both.
farts in it.
Both. Yeah, that too.
If you want to buy some of Marty's farts, you can. Email us at HGOPodcast@gmail.com.
I wouldn't sell them.
I'm not helping you. I'm not bottling those. That's Taylor's job.
I ain't doing it. He can do it himself.
Well,
Kim can help
Kim
him.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So as if on cue, his insomnia was cured and he nestled off into a deep sleep. The sleep, while deep, however, was not restful, for Tristram was filled with horrific nightmares that made him toss and turn in his bed.
I've run out of condiments for hot dogs.
His nightmares, however, would not plague him the entire night, for he woke up right at the sound of the city's clock ringing 2. As he laid in bed, profusely sweating from the night terrors he had just faced, he suddenly felt that he was not alone. He had, while lying there, the feeling that someone was lying on the unoccupied left side of the bed. However, he did not attempt to look over. While lying still, his first thought was that of the tavern girl with her crimson stocking.
No, dude immediately got horned up, dude. Yeah, and he's like, I fucking bet, dude. He was just like, fuck, please be a hot tavern girl and not some sort of absolute horrific monster here to, I don't know, steal my hot dogs and then beat me to death. Please be a hot tavern girl, please. Please.
So this clearly would not be the case.
Oh, what a shame.
And as if on cue to dismiss his wishful fantasy, the room suddenly seemed to grow insanely cold, and a strange, eerie, phosphorescent glow seemed to emanate in the room. Even with the sudden drop of temperature and change of lighting, he was trying to reassure himself that the presence in the room was who his bedfellow was, in fact, the woman that he'd seen earlier in the night. While he was attempting to calm himself and maybe think of something to say to his would-be lover, a terrible sense of dread came over him, resulting in him shaking and trembling as if he was in mortal peril. This feeling of dread as he continued to lay there seemed to just escalate into more than just unsettlement, but full-blown terror. He felt compelled to get the answer to his question, He felt compelled to get the answer to his feeling, to answer the unnerving question of who this nightly guest was that was laying in bed with him, so he finally sat up in the illuminated darkness.
He then turns over and he looks, and there's this black mass is laying there.
It's an orangutan.
And his eyes begin to focus, and then it speaks and it goes, "Would you buy Crustables? They're like Uncrustables, but they have crust. I know that sounds like a fucking sandwich to you, but apparently it's different."
It is different because it's all crust. It's all crust.
Okay.
Isn't that what I don't know, like a calzone or something would be?
No, because it's not cooked. Well, I guess it is baked previously, but it's not like crunchy.
Uncrustables are not baked.
Well, would a crustable be considered a calzone?
Technically,
Well,
yes, because the bread is baked, but the Uncrustable itself is not baked.
We're getting into really
but the
obscure
bread itself
territory.
is baked.
Well, yeah, but like that doesn't.
Would it be considered a calzone?
I think
Why are we
technically
being asked if a fucking Uncrustable is a calzone?
it is. It is.
Does that make every sandwich a calzone?
No, it's because it's enclosed upon itself.
I don't like the conversation that we're having right now. We're gonna get back into the story.
Yeah, you get back into the store. I'll look up the hard truth that you can't fathom to even connect your fucking dots to, dude.
So, great. Tristan proceeded to slowly turn his head, expecting the worst. But as his face came into the direct side of the left bed, he saw the most peculiar thing. There was no one there. He was confused, for he had the exact impression that someone was, in fact, laying or sleeping next to him. Laughing at his foolishness, but still unnerved, Martin proceeded in looking at his environment, and everything seemed to be in place. The heavy wooden door was shut as he left it. All of his belongings were untouched. Tristan continued to scan the area, and it was just as he was about to lay back down and return to sleep when a shock ran down his spine. As he reached with his eyes the mirror, he noticed, in fact, somebody, or more appropriately, something, lying in bed next to him.
The dude from Smash Mouth.
He's in the...
Rest in peace.
God.
He's a ghost now, right?
Technically.
Yeah.
Somebody once knew me.
Did you get the answer to your question?
Yeah, it is. They are calzones.
Technically. Hate it.
You're welcome.
So, the bed seemed to cast an ungodly glow, and as he looked into the mirror, he saw the translucent form of a man sleeping deeply. The figure was a bronzed and bearded man who appeared to be middle-aged, and he had appeared to have been dressed in his sleeping garments, and Tristram could see his chest rise up and down rhythmically as if the figure were snoring.
So Tristan's, he's like, hey, it's not the tavern girl, but hey, big ups, dude. Score 1 for the homies.
Which
Why is it on Manic Cam? I'm not manic, dude. I'm not being manic right now, dude. Fuck you, Marty.
great.
I'm not being manic.
So the thing that is really weird to me about this story already, Jesus Christ.
You've already timed that so perfectly. It's so good. So sorry. It was so funny. I went to immediately launch back into it, and then you fucking switched it instantly. Caught me off guard. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
I find it weird. So, like, with a lot of these, like, nighttime ghost stories, they're always like, it was sleep paralysis or whatever.
Yeah.
But this man fully sat up, looked around his room, and then sees it.
Well, it's like I've had 2 experiences with sleep paralysis without the paralysis part. I think we talked about. I mean, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but I never talked about it with you.
Yeah.
Where I woke up, my eyes were so closed, and I heard like run, just getting louder and louder until I shut up in bed, terrified.
Yeah.
And I looked around the room, and as I looked around the room, this old lady in like old lady clothes was standing in the corner, and her face was all blurry, and her whole body was like just moving really rapidly, and then she would shift and change into something else, then shift and change into something else, and she did like 3 or 4 iterations of that before I was like, okay, we're cool, we're chilling, and then it fucking stopped.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It is weird, though.
Pretty spooky.
It's not a very common thing that happens.
No.
So, I don't know. I inhaled drunk. I'm fine. I promise I know how to breathe. Apparently I fucking don't.
When's the orangutan come into the story?
You're gonna find out. I shouldn't have even said anything because now you're just waiting. All right.
I'm ready for the orangutan.
I know you're ready for the orangutan.
Enough hearing about this dude and his sexual fantasy of having a man sleep next to him.
Listen.
All right.
So Tristan was trying to figure out if the figure
Wanted to fuck?
was some trick of the light or hallucination caused by his exhaustion.
Yeah.
And proceeded to look over the left side again, saw nothing, then back at the mirror where he continued to see this man sleeping.
Interesting. So it continues on even after he breaks contact from it.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
So he did this many times, trying to figure out if this occurrence had actually happened. Tristan eventually felt that what he was experiencing was not a trick of the mind or light, or that he was, having a hallucination.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was, in fact, lying next to a ghost.
Whoa.
So Tristram seemed petrified. He was unable to move further or shout or even scream as he continued to watch in the mirror. He waited for this apparition, as in many spectral cases, to just simply vanish or dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
But this would not be the case. In fact, something even more horrible would be witnessed by Tristram and experienced by his spectral compatriot.
Okay.
As Tristram stared at the mirror at his ghostly guest, he soon noticed that the eerie glow was growing and becoming brighter. This glow, however, was not coming from the slumbering specter, but an alternative area. Tristram watched in the mirror as his room's door proceeded to open, thinking that the woman had in fact come in to check on him.
I like it. It says,
He keeps going back to this woman, and it's not her.
It's literally worded the Scarlet Damsel.
I know, yeah.
It's so fucking dude's so horned up, dude. It doesn't even matter, dude. He doesn't give a fuck that there's a ghost laying next to him
He's
snoozing.
like, maybe the
He's
pretty
like-
lady's back.
He's like, I hope Squatch here, dude. Dude, kick this ghost out of my fucking bed, dude. I don't even care if she's in a monster at this point, dude. Somebody touch me. I'm so lonely.
So,
Yeah.
I'm
guessing it wasn't her.
it is not
Okay.
her. He waited in bated breath and peeked. So he waited in bated breath, but what peeked its head in at Tristram was nothing like the woman he had been hoping for. There, staring into the room, was a pair of glowing eyes shrouded in darkness. The eyes were not staring at him or anything else in the room, except for the one spot being the left side of the bed.
Oh, interesting.
Tristram watched as the door creaked open further, and in shambled a dark form. This door seemed to close on its own fruition, and it was in the phosphorescent glow in the mirror. Tristram had realized that the strange figure was not human. This creature walked on 4 legs with dark reddish-brown hair and seemed to silently glide towards the left side of the bed.
We're finally getting to the orangutan, dude.
We are.
Fucking ready, dude.
This is not the only, encounter that he has with this thing.
Oh,
either.
man.
So
So wait, he's watching all this take place while watching the mirror?
yes, so he
Like across from his bed. He's watching the mirror and
he
watching
can
the
see
scene
the
unfold.
mirror, but he cannot actually see what's happening. When he looks away from the mirror, it's not happening in front of his eyes.
Okay.
But when he's watching the mirror, he can see the man, and he can see, because it's a big mirror, and you can see pretty much the entire room.
Interesting. So I wonder if he himself is watching the residual energy of this guy's encounter,
Yeah.
which we don't, obviously I don't know what happens next, but something I'm guessing is
find
going to
out.
happen here in a moment. But I wonder if this is just the residual energy of him watching the scene play on.
Pretty much. But it's the next encounter that's really weird to me.
Really weird.
Really, really weird.
All right.
So the giant shadowy figure glared down at the fellow specter with glowing eyes and rose up on 2 feet, raising its extraordinarily long arms above its head. Tristram watched the entire spectacle from the reflection of the mirror. His heart pumped faster and faster as he watched the colossal creature. There was a moment of quiet as the creature seemed frozen in its movements. That is, until it proceeded in jumping onto the sleeping spirit and using its outstretched hairy hands, started to unfurl its long slender fingers and proceeded to strangle the ghost as it continued to sleep.
Oh shit.
Tristram watched in horror as the spirit seemed to convulse and feel the great hold that the creature had on its neck. As Tristram watched the spectacle for some time, it finally appeared that the victim gave up the ghost, releasing one final breath, and in doing so, both the ape and the victim disappeared.
Interesting.
It was at that moment Tristram seemed to regain his faculties, and in doing so, fell back onto the pillow and realized in a same delight that Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol felt that the apparitions had left. They left him. He was finally able to
So let me
break
get this
and come
straight.
back.
So he's seeing a spirit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then he sees this monster entity orangutan
Mm-hmm.
come into the room and strangle the spirit.
Right.
All
Okay,
while
my
watching
question
it from a
is-
mirror. Yes.
The spirit takes its last breath, right?
Yes.
Do spirits breathe oxygen, or is it ghost oxygen?
So let me answer your question, Mr. Cowick.
Yeah.
So in this particular event, it would be described as a residual energy. It is the residual effect of a traumatic event, which would be strangulation.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy that he was seeing laying in bed next to him was probably another guy who stayed at that very same hotel or the tavern, right? Was sleeping in that bed. That entity came in, strangled him into sleep, and they probably came up the next day and they were like, oh, he died from something in his sleep because it's, the fucking late 1800s.
Yeah.
So they probably just were like, whatever. But in reality, he gets to actually see what actually killed him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just his spirit living in the moment over and over and over and over again.
That's crazy.
Yes.
But in answer to your question, it's ghost oxygen.
Yeah.
Nice.
So stupid. Ghost oxygen.
What is happening?
Yeah, push it down. Push it down. There you go.
Ah, I see. Oh, my mic was tilting. So the next day, after the restless night in the haunted room, Tristram proceeded in going out on the town.
Naturally, yeah.
As you witness a murder, you just go about your business the next day. While out and about, he ran into his friend, Harriet. The two proceeded in spending the rest of the day together.
In the Underground Railroad. Right? Am I right?
What?
His friend Harriet?
Because Harriet Tubman was the one who was part of the Underground Railroad. Helped free runaway slaves. History stuff.
History.
I'm terrible with history. I don't remember most of my school career. And that includes history.
Continue.
I'm going to be real. It wasn't a good joke to begin with. It's pretty... Marty's just trying to get himself in trouble.
No, that's just what popped in my head when I heard the name Harriet. Everybody knows about Harriet Tubman except for Taylor.
I know of her. I just...
You're making Taylor in trouble.
It's not her fault if they never taught it in her school.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they did, but I don't remember any of my school career.
Yeah.
It's not in my memory. But also, I think what also threw me off is it's not spelled like Harriet. It's Heriot.
Oh, Harriet.
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 So, I think that also threw
Right.
me off. So I was thinking of that name, and I was like, I've never fucking seen that name a day in my life. What the fuck are you on about, Marty?
Say that a lot. What are you talking about?
So the two proceeded in spending the rest of the day together, catching up on their current comings and goings. And it was in this conversation that Harriet had claimed great distress with his living situation and had raised the proposition. Oh, I thought I pushed it in all the way, but
Did not.
well, I don't know, man. I'm just here. So Harriet had claimed great distress with his living situation and had raised the proposition that the two share accommodations for the time being. Tristram was not hesitant on the offer, even after the supernatural showdown that occurred the night before, so the two proceeded to head toward the tavern. The tavern maiden was more than happy that the two had decided to room together, and proceeded to put their belongings in the room. Harriet and Tristram then went down to the bar and ordered some drinks, all the while Harriet was even more obsessed with the tavern girl.
Dude, how hot is this tavern girl, dude?
Fucking apparently.
She must be just fucking
bombshell.
banging, dude. That's nuts.
They're both.
Because he was at the bar with her originally and was like, dude, this tavern girl, dude, is fucking, she's hot, dude.
Yeah.
And here it's like, no, there's no way. And then eventually she's like, well, you can stay with me at the tavern, at the room. And she's like, all right. And they get there. She's like, fuck. You think she's a ghost? You think she's secretly an orangutan?
Oh my god. Harriet was following her around like a lost puppy, cracking jokes, making chit-chat, trying to learn as much as he could about her. Tristram was annoyed at this, but when the strike of 12 hit, he had, with great difficulty, managed to get Harriet to accompany him to his room for the night. As the pair had begun to ascend the stairs, the tavern girl cried to Harriet, "Make sure you don't sleep on the left side of the bed."
Okay, thanks. Why didn't you tell me that the first night?
Yeah, why didn't she say that to Tristram? She just was like, "Good luck."
Yeah, you fucking prick. You didn't say anything the first night.
She
you
didn't say
fuck.
shit
She's
the
just
first
like,
night.
oh, I forgot. If you sleep on the left side, an orangutan comes in and strangles you in your sleep. I totally forgot to mention that. I'm pretty sure it was in your Airbnb notes. If you look at it, like it's in there. But oh, Airbnb doesn't exist yet. Yeah, that's probably why I forgot. Yeah. Why did she say it the first
I don't
night?
know.
That's so annoying.
I don't know.
That's so
She was not into Tristram. She was apparently into Harriet, however.
Yeah, she's like, dude was looking at my fucking rack, dude, and I hope he fucking had a orangutan comes in and strangles him to sleep. I'm not gonna say shit.
So Tristram's heart had fluttered, for he knew the terrible secrets that the room held, and Harriet smiled, saying he wouldn't. As Harriet and Tristram made their way up the steps and the two entered the room, he asked Tristram, I wonder why she told me not to sleep on the left side.
He's like, bro, I don't know. It's like, you should definitely sleep on the left side.
Literally, Tristram simply shrugged and said, I don't know.
Yeah, dude. He was like, she's such a prick for that, dude. That's so funny. He's like, his buddies like just totally flirt with the tavern girl that he was
He's
like.
probably pissed because she was like flirting back with him, and he was like, I gotta get rid of this dude, so I get free range at the fucking tavern.
Yeah, dude. It's like that Always Sunny episode. You know what I'm talking about, where the dude dies in the booth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same vibe. You know, where he's just like, it's like, she's so hot, dude. It's like, yeah, I was like best friends with him at this bar, dude. It's like, oh, you poor soul. It's so sad. It's like, yeah, dude, super sad. He's such an asshole for that. It's so funny.
So, all the while, Tristram was staring at the mirror, and while he was almost 100% sure that what he had seen was in fact a paranormal encounter, he could still not rule out that it was a nightmare or hallucination, and in doing so wanted to put this to the test. Tristram decided to not tell Harriet of his supernatural spectacle from the night before because Harriet was in fact a skeptic of ghosts and all things that go bump in the night, so certainly he would have laughed it off anyways. Also, Harriet was a very physically strong man. Surely, if what he had seen was true, Harriet could fight off whatever malevolent monster he might encounter, was Tristram's thinking.
That's okay. I mean, it definitely is totally a lie, but you know, he's probably like,
So,
flirting with the tavern girl, you piece of shit. She'll show you.
with these thoughts in his head, he decided to test his hypothesis and immediately claimed the right side of the bed. Harriet felt some discourtesy about this, as he didn't want to disobey the beautiful tavern maiden, but he did have a preference for the left side of the bed, so it was no great hardship for him. So, with the sleeping arrangements all set, the two proceeded to undress, change into their night clothes, and get under the sheets to sleep. Unlike the night before, Tristram fell asleep almost instantly, and so too did Harriet. The two proceeded to sleep peacefully, that is, until the strike of 2, when Tristram almost instinctively managed to wake up.
That's really unique. So that must have been the original time of when that guy was killed by the orangutan spirit.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, 3 a.m. is like the bewitching hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making fun of the Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, which is like the devil, Lucifer, and the Antichrist.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember off the top of my head. So it's really unique that it's exactly at 2.
Yeah.
Maybe the clock tower keeper just rings the bells extra hard at 2 in.
The orangutan can't count. That's his problem.
Orangutan's like, watch, time look good, and then it's like a drawn on watch.
Yeah.
It's like completely wrong.
Yeah.
It's got like 4 hands on it. It's like,
Yeah, no, I think right now is good.
3 a.m.
I think we go right now.
Apes can't keep time.
So Tristram was sweating profusely, but unlike the night before, it was not from some nightmare, but almost as in the like expectation of the supernatural spectacle that he had expected to occur.
Mm-hmm.
As his eyes peeled open, he saw the same ominous glow he'd seen the night before, and just like the night before, he rose up, sitting on the bed, staring in the mirror. To his alarm, on the left side of the bed was not his sleeping companion, but the same bronzen, middle-aged, bearded specter he had seen the night before.
Interesting. So his buddy's just not there anymore.
Yeah. So I do think it is really weird. So there, I guess, is always a possibility that it is something like sleep paralysis, or like how you experienced.
Yeah, but at least when I've experienced
two times in a row.
Yeah, I experienced 2 times in a row, both within the same week at least.
Yeah.
But at least I'm able to be like, oh, you're right next to me. You know, like there's just not a it's just not. It's not. It's a hallucination, but hallucinations, you're still able to, like, for the most part, figure out what is the reality behind it.
Yeah.
Because I can be like, Taylor's next to me, and then there's the scary lady in the corner.
Yeah. So.
But with his buddy just not being there is very strange.
So his buddy is not there in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Worried for his compatriot, he looked on the left side of the bed where there snoring was his friend in the same spot, where in the mirror he had seen the spirit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wake him up.
So he continued to look over at the mirror, and as if by clockwork, he watched the room brighten once more by the opening of the door, and in peered the glowing eyes of the perplexing paranormal primate. This
I want that on a shirt.
perplexing paranormal primate?
Yes.
That's just Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah, technically, yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah.
You can't tell me it's not.
He is certainly, they big feats are certainly
He is certainly perplexing.
perplexed, and they are potentially a primate. They're probably more of an alien.
They are
let's
paranormal.
Let's go and get into a tangent for the next hour and a half about why Bigfoot isn't actually a primate and how they're actually part of the Greys that come into the 4th dimension.
We went through this already on our Bigfoot episode.
Then we're done.
So the figure in the same repetitive habit made the same exact motions as the night before as it silently floated over the floor. Tristram, however, did not look over at his friend during this entire event and continued to monitor the mirror.
What a dick.
The apparition made the exact same motions, the ape apparition stopping at the left side of the bed, staring down at the sleeping specter, only to jump up and continue choking the man in the mirror. I love the names that they use to describe strangling spectral simian.
the strangling spectral simian.
The hash slinging, the hash bringing.
The hash slinging slasher. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. It's very 1900s way of explaining an orangutan that strangled people to death.
Yeah. So
It's the most insane ghost story I've ever heard. Yeah.
So there was one major difference from this night to the night previous, and that was the sound of choking, gurgling, and struggling of breath seemed to be louder and echo through the room. Just like the night before, however, the final gasp of life was the end of the apparitional experience, and just like that, the louder than previous gasp seemed to dissipate the entity.
I hate that next sentence that I see. It's the most insane way of explaining.
Yeah, it is. Tristram, in almost orgasmic excitement, proceeded, just like the night prior, to falling back on his pillow after the glowing ghoul had left. After realizing that what he had seen was not a hallucination, but a reoccurring supernatural occurrence, he fell asleep. It was in the morning when Tristram awoke, and he felt energized more than he had ever in the past. He was still giddy from last night's encounter, and he sought to capture every inch of the ecstasy of it. He, in turn, wanted to see if Harriet had also seen the phosphorescent phantasms and proceeded in nudging his nestled bedfellow. He shook him several times, calling his name, attempting to wake him from some deep slumber. After this failed, he proceeded in looking over his friend's shoulder and found his eyes open and his mouth too. Harriet was dead.
Oh,
Damn,
Did
another
y'all
victim.
expect that?
wow!
kinda
I
did.
absolutely expected that. Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
did.
What? Okay. Me and Marty.
Marty, did you expect it?
I did.
Oh, good.
Me and Marty are in our tavern room together. It's probably the late 1800s, early 1900s,
Right.
right? Clearly, I'm the big spoon. He's the little spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the right side of the bed. I wake up. I start to see this happening. Why didn't he just be like, "Hey, fucker, wake the fuck up," or like pull, pull him, like get out of the spot,
Yeah.
But instead, he's like, "Huh."
To be fair, it almost does sound like when this is happening,
Mm-hmm.
he can't move the entire time. He's just stuck watching it until it's over.
Or he was jealous about the tavern girl.
Or he was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
That is an option.
He strangled his buddy and he made up this entire story.
Oh, dude.
Maybe.
Oh my God. Yeah. Shit. We don't know. We simply don't know. But we'll find out.
So
Are you the ghost of an orangutan? Did you do this? Email us.
So a doctor was called to the room, and as the tavern girl led him to the room, he immediately shook his head. He went over to the recently deceased Harriet and immediately went to work. He checked the body, and there were no signs of anything violent, but also no sign of any pre-existing medical issue. The doctor went over to Tristram and uttered, "I don't get it. This is the fourth death in that bed in the last 12 months that I can attest to.
Get a new bed.
Maybe don't book that room."
Also, like, I don't know how much beds costed back then. I have no idea. But you would think after the second time a dead body was found in that bed, they'd be like, we should probably get rid of this bed. We should probably toss this bed in an alley.
I don't
somewhere."
know if they mean like the exact same bed.
I guarantee they mean the exact same bed. I bet they were like, all right, throw the sheets out, get new sheets on. That bed's still good.
Maybe. I don't know. The doctor, it's just what the doctor said.
But did the guy, I mean, I don't know, did he expel his bowels after he died?
I don't know.
Tristan wakes up and he's just covered in shit.
I don't know.
And then he's like, oi, wake up. You've done shit the bed. Or he shit in the bed, and then when got the tavern girl, be like, I don't know, I think my buddy's dead. He also shit himself.
He just woke up
Isn't that
and was like,
crazy?
"Oh, poppycock."
This is in Belgium, so he's probably like, he's Diz, he's over there. I'm trying to think of how Tom's accent is.
Yeah.
His thick Belgium accent. It's like I make fun of him because I do a German accent to him all the time. He's like, I'm not German. I'm like, you're basically the same. All your country cares about is beer and chocolates. I looked it up.
And waffles.
And waffles. He swear to God. It's
Dude, Belgian waffles, though, are fucking phenomenal.
It's just a waffle with an accent.
Belgian waffles are good.
They're
What?
just pancakes that are shaped like a skateboard bowl. Right?
I don't know how we
Like
keep
you can-
getting so
like you can-
controversial
like
on
you
this
can
podcast,
say.
but we somehow find ways to get even more controversial.
You can tech deck inside of a Belgian waffle.
Why can I picture you using your little tech deck that's on your desk
Yeah.
to fuck around with a waffle?
Because I would do that. That's
You
what
get your-
'Cause that's what he was doing last night.
We're at an IHOP or something, and then we're all eating, and then you're just got your little spinny cap with your little fan on top, and you're like, Marty, eat your waffles. You're like, I am. I'm good on it.
I'm just going to kick flip this piece into my mouth.
And then you flick it, and it completely goes the opposite direction. It's like, fuck. There's a pile of waffles next to the table.
So Tristan proceeded in asking the doctor what befell his colleague, and as far as the doctor could tell, as with all the other cases, it was a failure of the heart due to sudden shock.
Okay, you can just tell by looking at him.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure I've said this on H.G.O before, like years ago, but I'm pretty sure I could be a doctor back then.
Yeah.
He like puts a stethoscope on him, whatever that thing's called.
It sounds to me like his heart just stopped. It's like, oh yeah? It's like, what gave it away? The fact that he's super dead?
I can't hear his heart, so it just stopped.
I don't know, he probably just died of like shock or something. I don't know.
I also think it's, there's not, first of all, a lot they can go off of. But there's no like physical injuries that he can see.
Okay.
Like if you strangle somebody, there's marks,
You know from experience?
I've watched enough true crime shows.
Oh, okay. That's way to beat around the bush, but yeah, I mean, obviously there's no signs of exterior trauma.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine he cracked homeboy open and
In the back.
yeah, they're just gonna replace the sheets anyway.
Might as well.
And then Tristan's like, I rented 3 nights, so
He has
they better
critical
fucking
heart failure from shock, and it's like, speak English, doctor. Thou aren't rocket scientists.
basically. His heart basically is stopped. He get really scared, and his heart just go, Wiedersehen, and that was it. That was it.
Great. So
Which is like, what if, God, dude, doctors back then had such an easy time, dude.
they did.
You know, I bet like a trauma doctor back then was different though versus now.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're like, now it's like you're dealing with like crazy like gunshot wounds and stuff like that. But back then they'd be like, an entire building fell on Sir Jonathan on the street. It's like, why did the building fall? It's like, it's 1892. Buildings just do that now. I don't know. They probably did.
I mean, probably.
What did I say on HGO like years ago? Which was like, at some point between the years of 1860 to 1920, your entire town is going to burn to the ground. So
At least once.
at least once, minimum.
More likely 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and it's always started in the dumbest way possible. But I don't know. This is just, it's a very peculiar case, this one, so far.
It is.
And we're not even done yet.
We are not. So the tavern girl looked in the room with tears streaming from her eyes. Tristram, in an air of concern, ushered her outside for a walk and began to talk to clear the air and to rationalize the death.
So you got a boyfriend, or?
The girl, as they began to walk, began to stammer up, I can't tell you all I know, but I wouldn't sleep in that room for a fortune, though I believe it's quite safe if you keep to the right side of the bed. I wished your friend had done so, as he was so handsome.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude, would have
He's
slapped in
like,
the
you
face,
bitch,
dude.
you're sleeping on the right side of the bed tonight.
It's like, yeah, your friend was really cute. It's a shame that happened. That's so sad. He was like, yeah, I'm pretty cute too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get told I'm pretty handsome all the time.
Tristram seized the opportunity and proceeded to reach his hand out to hold her own. And while the 2's fingers entwined, bent inwards for a kiss, immediately after receiving that which he had desired from the first step into the establishment, he unfurled his hand from hers and wandered off to make arrangements for her
Dude,
funeral.
what a gangster, dude.
What a gangster. He's like,
this fucking
best day of my life. My friend woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I got the girl.
But my friend didn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Yeah, dude. That's, dude, what a fucking animal, dude. What a fuck.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
He's like, Harriet, who?
Yeah, he's like,
Never heard of him.
my friend's
Super dead.
yeah, he's like super dead, but I am super single. Yeah, I get told that I have the most kissable lips out of all my friends. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, my friend Harriet, dude. Yeah, dude, His dick and balls were swapped, dude. They were backwards. we called it elephant ears, dude. Yeah, they just kind of droop down on like that. But I'm totally normal, dude.
So there's a lot happening.
What a fucking psychopath!
I know.
It's so fucked up, but it's so funny. Yeah.
So Tristan was even more curious after the horror as to why such an awful apparition would remain or even manifest in the tavern, and as he dug deeper into the history of the location, he found his answer. A music hall artist had resided in the room where he had spent his time and where Harriet and the last 4 others had lost their lives. The music hall artist had lived there with a performing orangutan.
Ooh, nice.
Which he treated rather poorly, but left the creature free to roam around the establishment.
What the fuck? That's awesome. Marty, the MFA needs an orangutan, dude.
Yeah, bro.
This sounds a lot like something that would happen in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Well, dude's probably just playing some fucking, like, fun, like, I don't know, like, just violin music. And everybody just kind of, like, nods and they drink the little drinks. And then he's like, I'm fucking dying out here. And then he's like, fuck it. And he just opens the cage and orangutan comes out and starts dancing. You know, just it's like fucking just getting into it. And they're like, oh, dude's got an orangutan. Fuck yeah, dude. They get all amped, get all pumped up. Dude, I get pumped up, dude. I mean, actually, I'd probably be terrified if I was just like in a room and there was just a loose orangutan walking around dancing to music.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified. I just wouldn't move.
Where does somebody in Europe get a fucking orangutan, right?
I mean,
If you have enough money.
I'll make
definitely not native to Europe. I don't think so.
No, definitely not.
But people import animals all the time.
In the 1800s?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really common then.
Okay.
Dude,
There
I
were
mean,
less animal laws then than there are
fucking
now.
go back to the days of Lewis and Clark, man, when they were doing their voyage across the U.S., you know, going to the Oregon coast, and they would see a bird or an animal and be like, huh, what a magnificent beast. And just immediately kill it. And then they would put it in a box and be like, send this to the president immediately. And then like 2 months later, fucking the president would open a box like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And they're like, it's a bird. I'm like, what?
Not fucking anymore.
One of a kind.
That is certainly true.
Yeah, the natives here told me that it's the last of its species. So, whatever that means. Anyway, we killed like 5,000 buffalo last week.
So,
You just kidnapping orangutans, dude. I'm glad that guy got fucking.
probably.
I'm glad he got fucking strangled into sleep, dude.
So the musical artist one night proceeded in treating the stage simian rather cruelly. But this would be his downfall for that night, as the ape crept into the musician's room and proceeded to strangle him on the left side of the bed.
Whoa.
Once the crime had been discovered, a posse stormed the tavern, and they proceeded in tracking down and encircling the primate.
They're like, oh, this posse comes in. They're like, all right, we're looking for an orangutan. He's probably about this tall. It looks like a fucking orangutan. Has anybody seen it? And it pans, and everybody's like, no. And then there's just an orangutan in a trench coat with a fake mustache, and he's like, and then he starts dancing. And they're like, wait a second. That's not how humans dance. I can tell, dude. I knew you were orangutan in a trench coat all along.
So they proceeded in tracking and encircling the primate, and then the orangutan in the corner was fired upon by the mob.
Oh my god.
And in doing so, set loose in spiritual form upon the establishment.
So you're telling me this orangutan died in gang violence after a murder?
I mean, it wasn't really... I mean, it kind of was gang violence.
It was a gang. It was a posse.
A posse of who? Was it
A posse of people who wanted to kill a fucking orangutan, dude. This is the most insane story. I think one of the most insane stories. If I had to like rate this and like in a ranking of the most insane H.G.O stories, this would definitely be in the top 10. This is
It's
the most
pretty wild.
They fucking an orangutan choked a guy to death, then had the wherewithal to flee after strangling a guy to death. They tracked an orangutan down and they fucking shot it. You just like had his little orangutan hands up. They started dancing. They're like, no more dancing.
Not this time,
They're like,
fucko.
dude just like gets lit up. Dude, it's like the St. Valentine's Day massacre, dude.
But for an orangutan.
Yeah, for an orangutan. Yeah, dude. That's so funny.
So this case is pretty obscure. I mean, even in the annals of animal ghosts, it's pretty weird. I mean, there's also, the black dog, black shuck, or
that
Jeff
that one.
Mongoose?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on Jeff the Talking Mongoose, dude. That's one of my favorite last podcasts and left episodes of all fucking time. Honk honk. For those motherfuckers who know, I do want to cover Jeff the Talking Mongoose. It's one of the most. It's just like this. Well, it's not. There's not an orangutan getting shot to death after strangling a guy, but it's equally as weird and insane.
we can maybe just make it a whole episode of
Mongoose ghosts.
yeah, because there's the ghost mongoose of the Isle of Man.
That's great, dude. And listen, that ghost mongoose just wants to watch the world's deadliest motorcycle race.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the Washington, D.C. demon cat.
Which is the fucking cool. That might be like a new Chevy car, dude. The DC Demon Cat, dude. It's got like 600 horsepower.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's definitely not an orangutan that fucking gets shot to death by a mob after it kills a guy
So
and turns into a demon.
the cool thing about the
This story's so insane.
the cool thing about the DC demon cat is it's a spectral cat that like
It's a spectral cat that what?
sorry, I had to sneeze. Don't rush.
I just continue the story.
It turns into a colossal cat that roars in the lower halls of the Senate.
Oh. That's what they're hiding down there.
Yeah.
I bet they sent all the new senators down there, dude. I guarantee you, dude.
If you can
He's
spend
like,
one night
hey, where's
in the lower halls.
Chip Simmons, Nebraska? Come here. Hey, man, listen, it's super good to have you in the Senate. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Chip Stevens. Now, you're gonna listen. There's just we have an old thing that we like to do to the new guys around here. You're gonna go downstairs. Gonna go into the halls, down the hall, down the elevator, right?
Yeah.
And there's a 40-foot tall cat down there. That's about it. You're gonna go down the elevator. It's so. You're gonna go down.
Why?
You're gonna go down that hall, make a left.
Why is there a 40-foot tall cat?
You're not listening. Go
I'm
down the
listening.
hall to the left.
Okay.
Elevator. Go down.
Yeah.
That one.
Can you answer me? Why there's a 40-foot tall cat?
Make sure you go left though, because if you go right, there is an orangutan in a trench coat that will strangle you to death. So don't go that. don't go that way.
Do I have to worry about the demon cat?
Just don't go right. Just avoid the right side of the hall.
Okay. I guess.
And if the orangutan does try to strangle you, let us know and we'll come track it down and shoot it. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid event.
Yeah.
Just because I can think of there's not even a rationality behind it of just I could see them being like, we'll track it down, we'll capture it, and whatever, versus them being like, well, this orangutan clearly strangled this musician to death, so we're gonna have to shoot it.
I mean,
it's he's just making the sign of the cross before they shoot it. They're like, please don't do it. He's praying to his ape god of Sasquatch or something. He's like, bye. So stupid.
it's fucking wild. This
Yeah.
story is just wild.
So let's recap what we have so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Guy goes to a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
sees a spectral anomaly of a orangutan coming in and strangling a guy to death.
Yes.
His buddy comes in and flirts with the tavern girl who he wanted to flirt with, but she wasn't interested. He watches his friend get strangled by this ghost orangutan.
Yeah.
He goes and he kisses the the tavern girl afterward, which is insane. And then he finds out that a musician had an orangutan in that room, and then that orangutan killed the musician, and then a bunch of people shot the orangutan, which has now released the demon entity that is an orangutan, ready to strangle anyone who sleeps on the left side of the bed.
Exactly.
All right, I'm caught up. I have no.
Any questions?
I have no further questions.
No?
Yeah. No, we're there.
Stay spooky.
So one of the things that is kind of weird is that while researching, there hasn't been anything to ever validate the existence of Martin Tristram, or even for that matter, the existence of La Rue Croissante. It is kind of weird that when you Google search La Rue Croissante, Bruges immediately pulls up La Slay guest house. The street and nearby buildings seem to be almost ripped from Tristram's encounter, and the guest house being the only building updated on the street. On La Slay guest house page, it states that the building had been somewhat recently renovated from a 16th century building. So it's possible that that's what they were talking about, was not La Rue Croissante, but La Slay.
Rue de Croissant, Belgium.
Yeah.
Belgium croissants were conceived in the 17th century. Fun fact.
Interesting.
It's not at all what I was looking for, but that is a nice fact about croissants.
It is very weird though.
It is very weird.
That's kind of all I got.
That's it? I thought there was another. The second counter was him seeing the
entity and it strangling his friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the first night he just sees the entity. The second night, however.
The second night. What about I wonder if he had a third night.
I don't think he had a third night.
Yeah, he did with the tavern girl.
Yeah, dude, I bet he did. He's like, I'm so sad that my friend got strangled by an orangutan ghost. If you maybe, I don't know. You know, we just kind of hung out a little bit. I'll show you how this orangutan sleeps at night. You know what I'm saying, girl? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I'm so sad about my friend who I watched die and did nothing to stop it. I could have shifted him over a couple more inches. Actually, I had a lot of room on my side.
Well.
I was kind of sleeping in the middle of the bed.
I forced him on the left side.
Yeah, it was super, just one of those things, I said, don't encroach on my side, otherwise I'll call upon this orangutan ghost to come in and strangle you.
Oh my God.
He said, I don't believe you, bro. And then, well,
And then I did it.
that doctor is like, they're just such a dumb thing. He's like, definitely died of fright. Also, 3 of the people have died in that bed. Probably. Of the same thing, I assume. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor.
Sure.
I'm not here to answer questions about the paranormal.
Girl. The dog has gotten herself tangled.
Yeah, has she?
Yeah.
Great. Well, what a fun, insane story, Tay.
Thank you.
That was out of control.
Indeed.
The story or the dog?
Both. The question to the group is, if La Rue Croissante actually existed, would you go and sleep in the bed?
No.
No, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would.
In the off chance that the orangutan got confused and
Went
for
to the
left
right
or
side
right,
of the bed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe he would show up at like 3 a.m. instead of 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Right on, show up on time.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 a.m. was just a very. Maybe that was probably why the time where he came in and strangled his original owner.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Spirit, we talked about your hometown, where you're from. How do you feel? Tired.
Just tired. Well, that was quite the experience, quite the story,
It was.
and I enjoyed every second of that.
Good.
Just, dude, that dude is such a scumbag. His buddy immediately dies. She's like, he was so handsome, so sad. And he's like,
Maybe I could
yeah,
get a
dude,
kid.
like, I probably won't die. So like,
Unless I sleep on the right side of the bed.
if I won't die. I won't die either if you let me sleep in your bed. What? Yeah. Fucking Spirit. Your breath stinks. Oh. Well,
Fishy.
what a fun story. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, like, share, subscribe, rate us 5 stars in your listening apps. And if you didn't, rate 5 stars and like, share, subscribe. If
And
you
then do it again.
then do it again. Share it to the homies. Please do. But if you have a story you want to tell us, email us at HGOPodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on our Facebook at Haunts, Graves, and Omens, or on our Instagram at HGOPodcast, or on our TikTok at HGOPodcast. If you want to follow me directly, you can at I Hunt the Haunted. It's right there on below the screen. You can kind of see it right there. Go check out all the HGO gaming clips. We'll probably get another one out very soon. Miss Sherland.
Hi, it's me. You can follow me on TikTok or Instagram at Lunar Thrill. You can also follow this one right here at Spirit the Turb on Instagram.
Oh my God.
She won't stand up. She just keeps melting.
Mr. Coward.
You can follow me on the internet, but not in real life, because that would be not cool.
Follow Marty in real life as well at Ghetto
Do
Feather.
both.
At Ghetto Feather.
Well, folks, was another fun story. And if you saw us at Fan Expo, I'm sure I gave you a bunch of stickers, and I gave you a big old kiss.
Goodbye. Farewell to you, my friends.
Great, thank you, Marty. That was
Goodbye.
He's just gonna start
For
singing.
now, until we meet again.
Remember to stay spooky,
Stay haunted.
and I hope this room has a hot dog cart
Doesn't.
or an orangutan that chokes me while I sleep.
It has one of those things.
Fuck yeah, dude. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.